All right, welcome back to Fleccas Talks, a podcast, episode 290. Today on the show, we have some major Charlie Kirk assassination updates. We're going to go over what the radicalized Twinks did, who radicalized them. We're going to discuss some weird discrepancies and also some weak responses from Republicans. After that, we have some Iryna Zarutska developments that are going to make you pretty upset. And after that, we're going to go over the Islamification of Texas. All this and more is Fleccas Talks, the podcast, episode 290, ranked the best news podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words, but at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do.
Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleccas Talks, the podcast featuring Richard the RATBOY.
All right, one for one on the intro, as always. Guys, our friends over at Sierra Whiskey Co. are very pro-free speech, and I know this because we talk about a lot of sensitive topics, and they don't care. They want to support the show and give you guys great discounts. So if we talk about certain groups that are 13% of the population but commit 50% of the violent crime, they don't care. They want you to have a discount. LGBT freaks trying to trans your kids, cool to talk about, and you get a discount. If certain religious groups want to flood the West with third world migrants, we're cool to talk about it, and you're getting a discount. Sierra Whiskey Co. products are built to perform. They make them for special ops teams. These guys are patriots, they're show watchers, and they donate a portion of their profits to fight human trafficking. And I'm not just saying this, they make the most comfortable underwear I have ever worn. It's made out of modal, which keeps your junk cool and dry. And they make more than just underwear. They also make socks and hoodies and t-shirts, which I wear every week, and they're the most comfortable products I own. I'm not just saying that. These are great guys. Go to UNDERTAC.com and use code FLECCAS22 for 22% off of your entire order. UNDERTAC.com, UNDERTAC.com, Fleccas22 at checkout. Let's support these guys. They support us, and they've supported us for years. Why not buy your underwear, t-shirts, socks, and hoodies from a show-watching company? UNDERTAC.com is the website. Fleccas22 is the code. Thank you to UNDERTAC for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping. All right. Thank you to UNDERTAC for sponsoring.
Thank you, UNDERTAC.
All right. We're back in the chair. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Obviously, a lot to cover. The show format's going to be a little different today. It's mostly going to be housekeeping because of the extended Charlie Kirk assassination update section, and we're going to do uplifting gold at the end.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to get to in terms of the Charlie Kirk stuff. And everybody needs a little uplifting gold these days. Yeah. So, and are we going to do a bonus land that's kind of like cringe and urban, or what? What's your plan there?
We're going to do bonus land will be cringe and urban today. So bonus land, FleccasTalks.com for that.
Cool.
Let's get right into it. We have an update with Iryna Zarutska, the girl that was murdered on the train.
The beautiful Ukrainian refugee murdered by a feral IQ person. A Democrat judge in North Carolina just let Iryna Zarutska's killer, DeCarlos Brown, walk out of prison into a cozy mental health facility. They're not even interested in putting him on trial. The plan is to dump him in some cushy psychiatric ward and call it a day. So Judge Roy Wiggins signed an order Friday to send Brown to Central Regional Hospital Butner campus for 60 days to determine the defendant's capacity to proceed. Judge Wiggins' order is heavily redacted, making his reasoning for the move unclear.
Yeah, so they're putting him into a mental hospital for 60 days as an evaluation to see if he can stand trial. They're saying he's not mentally stable. He's mentally stable enough to get neck tattoos.
Yeah, he's mentally stable enough to get in and out of jail 14 times before this. So the bar, we've often complained about being unfit to stand trial and the insanity plea in general. It just really doesn't make sense, and it's kind of one of those, like, however you get there, you got there. Yeah. So I'm not really looking. You should see some of the pictures of this hospital in 60 days.
Yeah, and at the end of it, he might not stand trial.
Yeah.
So I guess he's the real victim here.
DeCarlos with the neck tattoos and the dreads, and you know he's just texting low IQ shit, like he can't even really read or write, and he's texting like, I don't know, type shit.
He texts the words how it sounds.
Exactly. He's very phonetic. And although he can't spell phonetic, that is how he operates.
Phonetic.
But yeah, another judge, another stupid thing. Like, we just want justice quickly. And I don't care what someone's mindset was when they were committing the most heinous visible crime of the last, well, I was going to say it lasted 2 days before another heinous visible crime replaced it. But man, I'm just so sick and tired of this, and we'll be watching closely and we'll wait and see, I guess. And
there is some background here too, because there is a huge push, obviously, when it comes to like prison reform. And Cernovich had a good point about Mark Zuckerberg's and the charities he operates.
Yeah, he posted a review of Mark Zuckerberg's charity via the Priscilla Chan Foundation. $109.9 million to the Just Trust for Action Fund, which promotes letting criminals out of jail and ending bail. $185 million for Forward US, which promotes open borders. And $82.6 million to the Bill Gates Philanthropy Partners.
And then one of those foundations was operating in North Carolina.
Yeah, that was the first one, the Smart Justice Campaign. And so
the goal is to get prisoners out of jail and do prison reform. Can you read the description?
The Smart Justice Campaign in North Carolina to help grow a coalition of organizations to advance criminal justice reforms in the state.
Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff he supports.
And then, we've often talked about the evolution of Zuckerberg and him getting closer with Dana White and probably getting on some sort of testosterone and becoming less of a pussy. But when you give someone 100 mil or 185 mil, it takes a while to spend that. So, it's kind of like this weird wick. There's like a wick where you set the fire and you go, oh, I'm not like that anymore. But it's still burning in the background in the state of North Carolina.
Very true.
So, and that's a theme we're going to get into, I guess, a little later about billionaire influence on some of these bad leftist causes.
Absolutely. And keep in mind, he also spent $500 million on the 2020 election. And a lot of that was the voter collections of the mail-in ballots.
Yeah. Wisconsin.
Which helped Joe Biden steal the election.
Yeah.
All right, our next story before we get into the Charlie Kirk updates. Remember Psycho Stu got assaulted by Rajah Jackson, Rampage Jackson's son, beating him when he was unconscious?
Yeah.
We have an update there, or actually not much of an update.
As of today, no charges have been filed against Rajah Jackson for knocking out Stu and then continually punching him while he was unconscious. And the entire attack is on video. Justice for Stu.
And that's another example of how justice, I guess, is a white people thing.
I don't know what it is.
And then you need to let black criminals out to prove you're anti-racist. That's kind of what it feels like. And I'm going to say this might be a little insensitive. If Psycho Stu doesn't press charges, fuck him.
Ooh, I actually like that. Yeah.
What probably happened, if I had to guess, if no charges are pressed? Rampage Jackson gave him $150K.
True. And then what if Rajah Jackson pummels or has an emotional chimp out again and then beats somebody even harder? Someone has to reconstruct their whole jaw or something. And then Psycho Stu's over there like, maybe I should have done something to get something on the books, right?
That's a very good point.
That's something that we've advocated for. And actually, there's a video, I think we might cover it in Bonus Land or something. There's this nice white couple in D.C. Some of you guys may have seen it. And this street rat, just some black guy, borderline homeless, criminal, was muttering to himself, oh, I'm going to kill your wife and your baby. Kill that white wife and the baby. And then the guy, there's this whole saga, this guy's documenting it on social media. Nice looking guy wearing a tuxedo with his wife out and about. And he's like staying and ruining his night to press charges and calling and checking in with officers to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again, or at least something's on the books. And
because it eventually will happen, and then it's like, ooh, that was the guy that said that to me, and I just kind of kept walking.
Yeah, and is Rajah Jackson more likely to kind of reevaluate his life and get it in line? Yes, than some street rat in D.C.? Yes.
But Rajah Jackson still can't control himself when he sees red.
He's a real impulsive type when you play with him.
Yeah.
When you play with him.
Stop playing with me.
Don't play with me.
Stop playing with me.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the Charlie Kirk assassination updates. We have a lot to talk about. In the last episode, the main takeaway that we were actually correct about was all the trans people knowing ahead of time. Mm-hmm. That was very interesting.
And the mainstream radicalization and kind of running cover, calling everybody a fascist, calling everyone a Nazi, which kind of stokes the flames of something that makes this possible, right?
Yep.
But we got super cucked with the identity of the shooter, released at like a half hour before our podcast released.
Oh, yeah.
So now we're going to actually go through all of it and talk about him and how he was radicalized, right?
We're going to talk about how he was radicalized, exactly. So this is the shooter, Tyler Robinson. It's going to be pretty dense, but it's worth it, and we have some good, insightful stuff.
Yeah.
First thing that we learned that I thought was really interesting, that there were a lot of co-conspirators. Like we mentioned, a lot of people knew ahead of time. There's group chats or something where this was planned and discussed. Can you read that tweet?
Yeah, this is from Tony Saruga, who is a guy we've covered. He does the GPS on the Kamala rallies and talks about how they're all bussed to and fro. And he said, I've been told this morning by an FBI analyst reviewing the reams of GPS data, there very well may be dozens of co-conspirators. And he's quote tweeting someone who said, we fucking did it, Churbum75. And in parentheses, it says, saw Tyler June 30th. So these kind of guys are out there, and obviously he's been kind of radicalized online a little bit.
And we do have some of the leaked text. Can you give that a read, please?
Yeah. In fact, Robinson appeared to revel in the attention. This is about a group chat that was going on that the FBI got access to after he was identified, turned in by his dad. Exchanging meme-laced jabs with acquaintances while authorities scrambled to find the person responsible. Somebody said, Tyler killed Charlie, one user wrote in a group chat on Thursday afternoon, jokingly tagging Robinson. Robinson fired back almost instantly. My doppelganger's trying to get me in trouble, he wrote.
So they're doing bits.
They're doing bits, and then it does seem like there's a little... It doesn't seem to me like everybody knew about it, and it was this big conspiracy, but like people kind of knew and were like, dude, like, is this you? Mm-hmm. Is the vibe that I got.
Yeah, that's definitely the vibe. And then we have an update from Kash Patel. Can you give that tweet a read?
Yeah, Kash Patel reveals that Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin Tyler Robinson's Discord group had more than 20 members, and they may soon be questioned. And the FBI, I mean, we're still in the early stages, but they're running the investigation point on the Discord chat group. There are scores of individuals that are going to be spoken to. That's the chat we just referenced. Tyler killed Charlie. So they're all in this like kind of, we're going to get into it, but trans, furry, weird sex shit group chat going on.
Shit group chat that leads to extremism.
Yeah.
And then also Discord initially said, oh, this isn't what's going on. He wasn't a Discord user, so that ended up being a lie, and Discord was kind of like covering up for it.
Yeah, which is not good. And then Discord, the name Discord, sowing Discord. It's really living up to its name with all the freaks that are on there, to be honest.
Very symbolic.
Yeah.
And then we also had some info from the New York Post about out-of-state plates on cars coming to Tyler's house.
Yeah, a neighbor claimed 2 weeks ago several people driving cars with out-of-state plates were seen going in and out. They did not give off a good vibe, the neighbor said. So yeah, it's just kind of dark. And are we going to get into... So he's in this kind of like non-binary, furry, trans, weird sex shit group chat, right? Mm-hmm. And we already showed one saying like, oh my God, we fucking did it. There's like reactions that are happening as it happened, right after it happened, and then a little bit before it happened too. We're going to go into some more here. Another user, Najra Galves, who had wished death to Kirk and predicted that something big will happen when he set foot on campus, had identified as non-binary on X. And this is like, these are like younger kids too, like college age, around 18. So we're getting posts like that. Something big is coming. Mm-hmm. And then they're all saying immediately, he killed him.
Yeah, so there was planning and discussion 100% in the group chat. Yeah. And we actually have an interview from one of Tyler Robinson's neighbors discussing the kind of people that were associated with Tyler Robinson and what he was like.
There's some published reports out there that this individual, the roommate, may have been transitioning. Did that correlate with what you saw?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so he was going to have an operation to be to turn into a woman.
Yeah, and I think he was getting ready for that.
Sorry, in what way do you think that?
I remember them talking about a doctor's appointment. It was about 2 weeks ago, I would say.
And they were kissing?
Yeah.
Do you know where did you see them kissing?
Just coming out.
Kissing trans people.
Kissing trans people and killing Charlie Kirk. Find God, man.
Bad shit.
So, and that's something we kind of are burying the lead here because we're talking about the group chat and possible co-conspirators. But we were all speculating before we knew the identity of the shooter that it was some sort of trans, just because of how many trans shootings and terror incidents have been happening recently. how emboldened they are online, how not well they're handling the Trump administration and the recent right-wing gains. And this guy was not trans himself, but he's trans adjacent. He's dating a dude, and he was living with a dude who was transitioning. We're going to get to him in a little bit. Well, actually, we can put up some pictures right now. His roommate, his name was Lance Triggs. He's his little butt buddy.
And he's at a trans rally there in the back. And then here he is welcoming someone home at the airport, but he couldn't help himself. He had to wear a gay furry costume hat thing.
Yeah, apparently this was a welcome home from a mission, a Mormon mission. And so the guy was gone for 2 years, and he couldn't show up normal. He had to fucking put on the gay furry hat.
Yeah.
And so you're living in close proximity. You're constantly online. You're so obsessed with the gender and weird sex issues that are happening. It's clearly trans weird motivated, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to silence a guy who's speaking out against you and kind of like not validating your identity the whole time. And so it's just another weird case of that trans Reddit weird internet violence where these people get, they're isolated and, you know, they're in their little echo chamber, validating each other, diddling other guys, think they're girl.
Yeah.
And it just gets ugly. So,
and we're going to get into the radicalization right now. But before we do, there is a Krasenstein tweet that was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. So, I mean, apparently this whole time, once the shooter was identified, there was a concerted effort to push from the left wing the fact that this guy was white, Christian, and then the key, straight.
Yeah.
Do straight guys have gay little twink boyfriends live with them?
Not that I know of.
You wouldn't know anything about that, right?
No.
You certainly wouldn't know anything about that. But Krasenstein said if you're a man who has a relationship with a trans woman, you are in a heterosexual relationship because she is a woman and you are a man. Thanks, Brian Krasenstein.
Nice input, Brian.
5'6" little manlet on Twitter. And so, you know, obviously that motivated his state of mind and what he was thinking and what kind of goal he was trying to accomplish while shooting Charlie Kirk, right?
Yes, exactly. And now we're getting into the radicalization aspect of it all the way. Can you read this timeline that Shaniqua Posting Delusions wrote?
Yeah, and this is more of a meme than a specific timeline, but you guys are starting to become familiar with this type of person, right? And I want to preface this by saying this kid, Tyler, normal-ish kid, 2 loving parents in his household. I saw he got a 34 on the ACT. Smart kid, good GPA. And then this kind of shows what kind of twists and turns one's life can take where you're going to jail for life for a political assassination, right? Starts life as a normal kid, stumbles upon trans porn on Reddit, becomes addicted, joined Discord where he meets actual troons, gets brainwashed into shitlib ideology, starts dating a troon, slowly becomes a left-wing extremist, decides to commit a heinous act for clout. This is the perfect leftist arc.
Yes, that's very true. And then, RATBOY, you had some insight on this as well.
Yeah, and this is just kind of a pipeline thing. And that Shaniqua Posting Delusions post, what came first? Was he watching a video game and then he got into a leftist thing? Was it all porn related? Was it, you know, it's hard to find that kernel of where it exactly starts, but that super online echo chamber thing definitely played a part in it. And we've talked a lot about, in our Cringe of the Week, we have a very healthy backlog of Cringe of the Week. Chris from Mr. Beast type people, the middle-aged man who we've shown trying to force their family into accepting that they're a woman now, right? We've shown how these guys, it starts in private and they're kind of like groomed online and then they nuke their family. They go, or they nuke their life or their job or something. And now we're seeing it more and more where they go beyond just wrecking a woman and a child's life, and now they're murdering people, right?
Yeah.
So I said, watch weird internet porn community, weird internet porn beliefs, weird internet porn politics, weird internet porn terrorism. What this guy was stroking his shit to ruined multiple lives. So there's this weird thing where it's like you get into something with porn and it becomes your identity.
And it also rewires and fries your brain.
And
it lets the demons in.
It lets the demons in. And then a lot of old serial killers often had a fried brain porn thing, like where they were into bondage and got too into it. BTK, Ted Bundy types, where they're getting to more and more violent porn until they murder a co-ed or strangle and torture a family of 4. You know?
Yeah.
And now it's expressing itself in a different outlet these days. And with the political climate and the revelation of trans people recently skyrocketing, like we've talked about the percent increase of trans people recently. And yeah, it's coming with some growing pains. So...
And then the way you described it was great. And then there's also like an old adage that describes it as well. It's another way of saying it.
Yeah, I think this is like some old Chinese type of proverb or something. Lu Su in 7th century China. He said, watch your thoughts for they become words. Watch your words for they become actions. Watch your actions for they become habits. Watch your habits for they become character. And watch your character for it becomes your destiny, right?
And that's true, and that's great advice. If you want to be like a normal good person, you can like upward project into like a good direction.
Yeah.
But then when you do it with trans porn, it goes down fast.
It works both ways, and one way is a very slippery, dark slope to like all of a sudden you're in jail for life, and then like, can you imagine the like sobering realization, day 3 in a cell by yourself, and you're like, here again.
Those guys in the group chat love me, though.
Those guys in the group chat love me, except then all the leftists tried to say I was a right-winger for a brief moment in time.
And then all my leftist group chat friends are about to get swooped up, too, and put in jail.
Black-bagged by the FBI, perhaps.
And I think the reason trans is so demonic and worse than a lot of things is because when you're trans, you believe that God made a mistake when he created you because you're supposed to be a girl, but you're in a boy's body, so God made a mistake. So then you take it upon yourself to make yourself in your own image, which is actually demonic because you're playing God yourself. Like, oh, this is how I should have been. And you're going against God. And then when you go against God, what's the next thing? Destroy.
Yeah.
And that's why we've seen so many trans shooters. We actually have a list here of just recent trans shooters.
Yeah, I mean, you guys we've covered most of them on the show as they've happened. Denver shooter, trans. Aberdeen shooter, trans. Nashville shooter, trans. Philadelphia, trans. Colorado Springs, non-binary. Iowa, gender fluid. Minneapolis shooter, trans. Charlie Kirk, trans partner, trans adjacent, right?
Yeah.
So this is becoming a real problem. And something also happens where it's not a coincidence that all of these have happened recently because it's kind of an inspiration copycat type thing that happens between these people. They see one and they go, wow, like you and me are horrified. And they're like, wow.
It's like a hero's arc for the trans people.
Yeah. For the
like
demon in the trans people.
Exactly. It's a way for the demon in the trans people to express itself at the highest level.
Yeah.
And then when this all happened and we figured out it was a trans partner shooter, Krasenstein said, imagine being a transgender person in America today with all the hate and demonization that is being directed at them.
That's what I do immediately. And then Howling Mutant said, when I saw Charlie Kirk get shot, my first thought was, Jesus, I hope the insane gay guys in dresses are okay.
Yeah.
And that's part of it too. I think we're going to get to that in a little bit more in depth. But the people like Krasenstein or leftists who aren't extreme and won't ever pick up a rifle are kind of running this fake world for them. So they're like, yeah, that's what everyone should think. What Brian Krasenstein is tweeting in the wake of a political assassination. That's what the world should think. They should accept me.
They're like lightly defending it or like, oh, well, I understand. I understand why they would be upset.
Yeah.
And we have a picture here of all the recent trans shooters. We also have a graph. This is mass shooting rates by demographic, and trans shooters, hugely overrepresented.
Yeah.
And then this graph on the right, can you read what this graph is? I think it's kids.
Percent of U.S. adults identifying as transgender by birth year.
So it's a straight line up.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about. Like with this weird, this show in general, we've always said we don't want to be part of any experiments, right? Like trying something new politically speaking or just guessing, throw it at the wall and see what sticks. This whole trans thing is an experiment, and clearly we're seeing the cracks in that experiment right now with the radicalization and then the violence. Like, and we've shown we've shown videos as innocuous as calling the woman sir in the drive-thru at Walgreens. I go, sir? Did you call me sir? All the way up to political assassinations. The experiment's getting scary, guys.
And then, as we mentioned, all these trans shooters are obviously getting radicalized. A big part of the radicalization is online. And another big part is from the mainstream media and from the top down, we have like a little bit of a supercut here of Trump and Republicans being called fascists. We're going to play it at 1.5 speed, but you get the idea.
Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like.
Try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism, a huge component of fascism, is uniting racism, bigotry, a form of racist nationalism.
We are now living in a fascist dictatorship.
And we are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government.
Not only to roll over to Donald Trump's will, but to roll over our democracy and allow him to take over this country as a fascist dictator.
When fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, "No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core."
So you have stuff like that. Everyone's a fascist. Everyone's a Nazi. What do you do if you see a Nazi? You have to kill him.
Yeah, you punch him at least, at a minimum, right?
Yeah.
Hit him with a bike lock in the back of the head.
And then when it comes to fascism, are these people running off of the real definition of what fascism is? Or are they kind of just vibing it and it's like white people they don't like? This next tweet's an example. Someone wrote, "My political views are whatever this is." And it's a nice family gathered around. There's like 6 kids and
Six
a nice
kids and a pregnant wife.
and a pregnant wife and a happy couple.
Yeah.
And then someone replies, "So fascism." Like
Yeah.
that's fascism. And then can you read whatever was replied to that?
Yeah, if you want to stop being called a fascist, you should stop being a fascist. And then being a fascist is liking kids and and sitting in bed innocuously.
Having a family.
And so that's obviously part of the problem. Everything falls under Nazism or fascism. But I want to make it clear, like, some of these people, if you heard this guy's a fascist, this guy's this, like, yeah, it's one thing to be a screeching wine mom libtard about it and be like, I hate Trump, he's a fascist. I'm voting for whoever goes against him. I'm voting for Kamala, even though there are 20 million illegals here. That's one thing. The Discord, trans, weird people, they're radicalized like even harder by weird esoteric internet communities. And so I just want to make a delineation there because these people, it's borderline on who contributes to what, you know, calling someone a fascist, like I get it. You're hyperbolic, whatever. It definitely contributes to a climate that enables this, like we saw with the celebrators of Charlie Kirk's assassination, your coworkers, the nurses, the doctors, the army, army men. But there's levels to this shit is the point I'm trying to make, right?
And then exactly, these trans people, these people in these communities, they're not necessarily watching MSNBC, but it gets reiterated at every level in society. They're probably more watching streamers and online, and we have a little bit of a Hassan Piker supercut.
I'm sick and tired of it. Left-wingers, liberals, you need to be fucking showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers and letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the fuck is this shit, man? Slice them up. Slice them and fucking dice them. What the fuck is this? You cannot have a bigger fucking layup. You could not have had a bigger fucking layup than a horrible candidate like Herschel Walker.
874 Bellevue Drive, and I'm gonna kill you with my AR-15. Like that's the type of messages they were leaving in this dude's office, and he's resigning. Like he's literally, this is his last term. So I think that people are a lot more radical.
It's hurt poor people that they can afford housing in Berkeley. I don't know how that works.
My understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
Yeah, so that's Hassan Piker. Big streamer. He has all these platforms, and he's literally calling for violence and gut them, let their blood run through the streets.
And he's a big Twitch streamer. Twitch is owned by Amazon, so Amazon's okay with that. Just threats. And they're definitely, he'll deny it when you say like, oh, you inspired this or any sort of thing like that. But there's definitely an in-between. It's like there's your libtard teacher who you're in high school. They might, bias a dumb kid, but other kids are like, all right, that's Miss Johnson. She's a little nutty. Then there's MSNBC. That's a step higher. They go crazy. They make up lies. They tell you about the Russia hoax, and they call him a fascist. And then there's streamers who are a notch above, who kind of go into that gray area. They wade in because it's been so easy for them to do so for such a long time that they're not even afraid of getting in trouble. The streamer, the progressive internet streamer, is the equivalent of that nurse who celebrated Charlie Kirk's death on a profile with her own name where it says where she works in her bio. She doesn't even think like, I could get in trouble for this. I could face repercussions for this. They're not even thinking about that at this point.
That's how normal it is, and not a worry for them.
Yeah, they haven't faced any consequences so far, and then now looking back at it in the rearview mirror, it's insane, right?
And then we have another clip here. This is from Destiny, and this is after the shooting.
Shout the crime statistics.
Not exactly like.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear. Like, I don't know. It's like memes. It's just memes to everybody, I guess. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, so they need to be fearful at events to turn down the temperature. I don't understand the thought process there.
Yeah, you need them to be scared so that their leadership says, whoa, let's all take it a step back. So they need to terrorize us into submission, basically, is what he's saying.
And exactly. And then what he's saying is they need the terrorists and the shooters to get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
The right wing to stop being right wing.
Yeah.
And just listen to whatever they want and do what they want, because otherwise you might get killed. So just start listening to us.
Yeah, sounds like some do it by any means necessary type shit. Some Malcolm X shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, I mean, we're...
And they believe that, any means necessary. And we're the ones with correct views.
I know.
So it's like if it was the right wing going crazy with like, oh, we got to do it by any means necessary because we're right and we need to get this done, that would be a different story. They're wrong and using the any means necessary tactics.
Yeah, it's dark. And if anything, it's revealed how bloodthirsty and violent our opponents are. They would laugh if you were killed. They would laugh if you were shot dead. They'd be pulling up clips. Here's what he said about urban decay. They constantly repeat it. They constantly repeat their phrase. And even though you're right, they'd laugh.
They would. Let's get to our next segment within this segment. It's the FBI and the role they've been doing with this whole investigation.
Yeah, the FBI reportedly attempted to hide the identity of Charlie Kirk assassination subject's transgender boyfriend. So Lil Lance, who goes by Luna, the FBI reportedly attempted to hide that. The FBI tried keeping the gender identity of the trans partner a secret because he had been extremely cooperative with authorities. Sources familiar with the case said that Lance Twiggs was aghast when confronted by investigators over his lover's alleged assassination plot, saying, "Oh my God, no." Investigators are looking into whether Kirk's alleged killer was motivated by his belief that the conservative activist views on transgender people were hateful. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so the twink boyfriend, his little boyfriend, was cooperative, according to all of these sources, and said, here you go, here's all the Discord messages immediately. So that's at least something there. But the FBI going with the, let's keep this a secret. So why? So the left wing could continue propagating the lie that this kid was white, straight, and Christian? Yeah, he's not straight, buddy. And I don't think he shot Charlie Kirk over Christianity.
Very true. And then Cernovich had a good tweet.
He disagreed with him about the scripture. He said, no, you're not a hardline enough. I'm a groiper. I'm attacking you from the right.
You're not far right enough.
Yeah.
That's what they try to make it seem. And then Cernovich had an interesting tweet about this as well. He said, that's my...
Someone said, for all we know, leftist FBI agents set this whole thing up. A little conspiratorial. That's why Fleccas likes it. Put it in here. And Cernovich said, that's my bet. They were in Discords radicalizing people. They thought they could get Charlie or someone else big name killed. Then MAGA would turn to the streets. This would let big tech usher in their AI surveillance plan.
See, I can see that. And don't forget, during George Floyd, remember FBI, those lesbians were kneeling.
Masking and kneeling at the same time. Very
disrespectful. People are fat in the back. You see that fat one?
Yeah, pig.
These are the people that would do it. And keep in mind, FBI lied about January 6th. They lied about the Hunter Biden laptop. They lied about Russia. They lied about Hillary Clinton's emails. They lied about the kidnapping of Governor Whitmer. They lied about 9/11, Oklahoma City, Waco, Texas, Randy Weaver, Butler, Catholic extremism. But now we believe them when it comes to the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Doesn't really make sense to me. And then there was one more Cernovich tweet that I wanted to read before we move on. Can you give that one a go?
If the FBI and big tech billionaires can create enough chaos, then their AI surveillance tech Antichrist can be ushered in. Hence why we have no information on the Butler shooter, and the FBI is running with the lone gunman theory here and won't release the Discord logs.
Something to keep in mind, obviously, the billionaires, they do operate with the FBI and they do talk to the FBI. And I remember I was telling you this like a few weeks ago when Trump announced that he was potentially bringing a RICO case against George Soros.
Yeah.
That trans shooting happened that day, that afternoon. And now, after this, it sounds like Trump is going to go through and try to get George Soros on that RICO case. I don't know. It kind of makes you expect bad stuff to keep happening.
Totally.
All right, let's move on to our next section. This is kind of the reactions that we saw in the last few days. Before we get there, Lauren Chen had a really good tweet that I thought could potentially prevent all these trans issues in the first place.
Yeah, she said something brilliant. And have we ever thought about this or ever said this? We've joked about how testosterone makes people more right-wing and stuff like that. But she said, instead of cross-sex hormones, why don't we give trans people same-sex hormones? If a male feels like a woman, why not give him testosterone, not estrogen? Genuine question. Making a man feel more like a man seems more logical than making him into an imitation of a woman.
Very true.
Yeah, that's because they're not looking to treat the patient. There's not like the Hippocratic Oath, the doctors. It's like enabling and trying to get them on some real recurring hormones for a long time. Right?
Yeah, exactly. There was a mural, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, that was instantly destroyed, as you can see here, the before and after.
Yeah, this was somewhere in Florida, I believe Pensacola. Someone painted the nice mural, and then all leftist things written on it. A good Nazi is a dead Nazi. Palestine flag.
Nazi.
Save the kids. Yeah, so that's the thing. They're not slowing down. Nobody's learning lessons. Even the people who got fired from their job are like, my fucking Republican boss fucked me.
Yeah.
They're not really internalizing lessons or taking stock. Whereas I think a lot of right-wingers are kind of taking stock of where we are and taking a step back and trying to look at the big picture here. Whereas a lot of these people are still children tantruming and doubling down.
Yep.
In this whole section here, we're going to get into what we call the enablers of this. You know, we kind of covered some of that in the immediate aftermath of the shooting, the celebrators. These are people who aren't yet radicalized, but they allow the radicalization to happen because they kind of justify the actions of a shooter, or their rhetoric allows it to happen even more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what we've seen on college campuses and stuff.
Yep, so the first one happened at Texas Tech. This fat, loud, rude black woman had some stuff to say.
Homie dead. Fuck your homie dead. Fuck your homie dead. He got shot in the head. Fuck your homie dead. Yeah, fuck your homie dead.
Evil is real, people, and it kind of looks like that. Evil. Evil. Murder is bad. She is evil. Have not said. Why are you being so hateful?
Why are you so hateful? Why are you so hateful? Yeah.
Hey, can somebody tell her to back up?
Can you
please?
not put the camera in my face?
I'm sitting here. You walked up to me.
Okay, well,
I don't want this. I said rest in peace.
Okay, and I can
just leave it alone. Please don't come after me.
You've been
I want to be left alone.
I'm not emotional, ma'am. Don't tell me what I am and what I'm not. You can get out of my face because I could tell you what you are, but you won't like it.
You're being aggressive. You're being aggressive.
I'm not being aggressive. My voice is
You are
very
being
calm. You're calling me
aggressive.
aggressive because I'm a black woman.
Not at all.
No, we're not. I'm very
being
calm right now.
aggressive?
You bring racism to why are you
Come on now.
like erasing me? I just said I don't want to talk to you.
I just don't want. I don't want.
And then eventually she gets arrested.
Yeah.
I think she assaulted somebody.
She hit people, yeah.
Real N-word shit.
She got arrested and expelled because she couldn't contain herself about Charlie Kirk. There's like a certain demon or something that possesses people. You see how she was like kind of jumping around? Like she was not in control of her own emotions there.
Similar to Rajah Jackson.
Yeah, and then who brought those emotions out? Is this girl really thinking and seeing the world so clearly? It's like you're a young girl at Texas Tech. I don't know how good your grades are, but do you think you're like the arbiter of here's what society should be? And then you're arrested and expelled. It's very telling to see someone when they do that jump around.
And they're repeating, you know, she's low IQ.
Yeah, they're not in control.
Not in control. And then there was a vigil for Charlie, and then these fat black women ruined it.
Yeah, this was just a little memorial that someone had set up with, I think, flowers and a picture, and watch what they do. So they're kind of confused by it at first. They're studying it.
Then they think, maybe we could steal this shit. No one's even here. Let's start taking stuff.
They blow out the candle. Fat They're all morbid, very morbidly obese. The women.
Yeah, say it again. You can take the cupcakes, that's fine. I'd ask you to leave the flowers, though, but you can take the cupcakes.
Stealing the flowers.
Shit, no one even here. The flowers right there.
Yeah.
That's the thought process.
Yep.
And then we have here a Canadian teacher showed the video of Charlie getting shot over and over again to a class of 10-year-olds.
Well, the Toronto District School Board is investigating after a teacher reportedly showed part of the video of Kirk's assassination to some young students. The school board has not released the name of the teacher, only that they were a staff member at the Corvette Junior Public School. The school's principal says the teacher had been supervising a class of French immersion students in grades 5 and 6 when the video was shown, adding that the teacher was relieved of all responsibilities until an investigation was complete.
All right, ta-ta there, retard.
Ta-ta there, retard. French class, 5th and 6th graders, 10-year-olds, and you cannot help yourself. You have to show them a brutally graphic murder because your brain is so rotted. These people, like, they lose sense of, like, where they're at and what's important. And that's another one of the key things. These people are so shocked to learn, like, oh, somebody reported me or called into my work or somebody did something. They're living in this world where they assume everyone thinks like them.
Yeah.
And like, even I know, like, I'll go to a wedding or I'll walk into a room and I won't say a fucking thing about politics.
Yeah.
Because there's no point, even though.
And we're right. We're the correct ones.
I know.
And we keep it 100. We're polite.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people have been getting, that teacher got relieved until the investigation is complete, probably going to get fired.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been getting fired.
Yeah.
And obviously that's very good. There was a funny technique to get people fired. Can you explain it?
Oh, yeah. Somebody would, this is something I saw online and sorry, because I can't credit them because I didn't screenshot it. But somebody said their technique for getting someone fired was they do like a normal like chud type email where they go, hey, is this your employee? Like Sarah Johnson. She was celebrating Charlie Kirk's death and it really pissed me off. Is this what your company stands for? They send that from one email. And then like an hour or two later, they pretend they're a reporter from like a local news station and say, hey, do you have any comment on Sarah Johnson, your person? So they're playing both sides to get someone
pretend to be the media writing an article about one of your employees.
Exactly.
That gets it done faster.
Mm-hmm. And I will say something just in general about the firing. There's been a lot of argument on the right with cancel culture in general, and I've heard people calling it consequence culture because this just happened. It's not like we're canceling you, and we're not getting you fired. We're just making sure your employer knows what kind of person you are, right? But there's this thing where I thought the right was against cancel culture, and yes, we were, and we are, theoretically, right? But in practice, it's never been we've never reached a peaceful compromise. There's a thing called the prisoner's dilemma in game theory, in like statistics, right? And summed up, it's two prisoners locked in a room being interrogated for a crime, right? And if both prisoners don't snitch on each other, then it's the best outcome. The cops interrogating them can't prove that they did anything, right? So cooperating leads to the best outcome. If one snitches on the other, then this guy gets away with a light sentence because he helped, and then his buddy gets the maximum sentence, and vice versa. If they both snitch, it's the worst possible outcome for both of them because their snitching is now not valuable, and they're both guilty of the crime, right? And so what we have with this cancel culture, if you want to call it, which theirs was digging up tweets from 10 years ago when you were 16 years old and calling your college or something. But we have is a classic prisoner's dilemma where we never agreed to work together. We never agreed, all right, this is crazy. The left is just saying, I thought you guys didn't like that.
Yeah, and then you guys did it to us forever.
For 10 years.
And you're still doing it. Remember they canceled the plumber who was cracking his knuckles in the van weird? They said it was an okay, like, white power symbol.
There's an example of a police officer who donated maybe $10 or $15 to Derek Chauvin's defense fund who got fired for that.
And then there was the NASCAR guy who got fired because his dad says the N-word.
Yeah, Connor Daly's NASCAR backing pulled after father's alleged use of the N-word. So it wasn't him, it was his dad. And the racial slur appears to have been said in the 80s, years before Daly was even born. This was in 2018. That's 7 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
So we're on a totally different thing. Like, we never agreed to do anything, and it just shows you how evil this shit is. And we're not even getting into the vaccine firings.
Yeah.
We're not even getting into the COVID era, like people losing their jobs because they wouldn't get an experimental medicine, right?
And then they say, "Oh, I thought you guys were against cancel culture." And it's like, yeah, we should just let them keep doing it to us. We don't fight back because we're morally above it while they keep canceling us.
Yeah.
And then we have what? Police, professors, doctors, lawyers, nurses that are celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And we have to be morally above that? Nah.
No thanks. No thanks. We tried discussing taking the high road with everybody for years, and you continue to take the low road, and now the shoe's on the other foot, and fuck you. Like,
yeah.
I have no sympathy. I don't give a fuck.
These are the rules you established. You didn't want to play by the rules we presented. And
they're not rules. They're norms almost. It's just the de facto way of life for the past 10 years has been, fuck you. I'm going to do everything I can to mess with your life. And they really don't like it when the shoe's on the other foot.
Exactly. All right, our next clip. This woman, this is an older video, I believe, but this just kind of shows like when you have these leftist-minded women raising families and they're the head of the household, happy wife, happy life types, these are the kind of kids they create.
Back. I have the best news ever.
What? Donald Trump died?
Second best news.
The vice president died?
Okay, third best news.
That Elon Musk died?
Okay, no. Nobody died. My best friend's getting married.
Which one is it?
Taylor Swift! Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got engaged!
You know, we have great news. You tell a kid, I got a PlayStation.
Yeah.
There's a puppy.
So these are kind of
We're getting pizza.
Yeah. These are the horrible leftists that are kind of like enabling this culture here. The death. You're talking like, how old are these kids? These are the same age as the kids who got shown the murder video by the teacher, the crazy teacher, like 10 and 11 maybe tops. And they just know all of mommy's neuroses, all the people mommy hates because mommy's constantly talking. Mommy drinks lots of wine at night.
Yeah.
She constantly rambles about Trump. Oh, that's Rachel Maddow. Mommy loves that show. And they learn about this shit and they just become de facto shit libs, without much critical thought either. They're just firmly on that side for the rest of their life because mommy.
And it's ingrained at the young age. It's ingrained. You can't really get it out.
Yeah.
This next example, this guy sells paper targets. And like we said, when the news and everyone's convinces you that everyone's a fascist and a Nazi, listen to what he says.
What's up, shooters and future shooters of America? Have you been interested in getting a gun and maybe shooting some cool things like maybe a fucking Klansman? Well, I got him. I got the white Klansman over here, the Grand Wizard Klansman over here. I got the dang Nazi from World War II. I got a fascist in America. I got the American Gestapo, and I got more American fascists. And what's going on here is we are making a bunch of gun range targets to make the fun at the gun range a little bit more entertaining, because who doesn't want to shoot a Nazi?
Yeah, a little more entertaining.
He's got a shirt that says normalize political violence on. He's a real retard.
And he says eventually nothing better than shooting a Nazi. Yeah. And then who are the Nazis? The Republicans.
Charlie Kirk was. Yeah.
And then we have like a little bit of a background of this type of rhetoric and even communism and socialism that I want to get into. And we mentioned this before. The elite billionaire class has the media. They have indoctrinations in the schools. And they rile up the useful idiot underclass and Antifa types. Like that's what that guy was.
Yeah.
And then they use the violence to achieve their goals without having to get their hands too dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that's been done in history. We're going to get a little bit of a history lesson here at Fleccas Talks, the podcast. Can you give this a read, please?
Yeah. Who launched Mao's bloody cultural revolution? Radicalized students, the Red Guards. They quickly went from justifying violence to committing murder, leaving up to 20 million dead, including many of their own. Who radicalized them? The communist education system. In America, it's woke Marxist professors. Our campuses have become hotbeds of anti-American radicalism. We must carry on Charlie's legacy and reclaim our universities because if we lose them, we lose America.
That was a very good point. And I'm sure you guys have seen the full interview. This is Yuri Bezmenov's interview. This is one of the first videos that ever red-pilled me. Like when I was getting into politics in 2016, I met a guy in LA who was very right-wing, and I went to his house and we're talking about politics, and he sat me down and we watched this entire interview. So this is like a major red pill video for me. This is just an excerpt from it that has the same message as the last tweet.
See, the useful idiots, the leftists who are idealistically believing in the beauty of Soviet socialist or communist or whatever system, when they get disillusioned, they become the worst enemies. That's why my KGB instructors specifically made a point, never bother with leftists. Forget about these political prostitutes. Aim higher. They serve purpose only at the stage of destabilization of a nation. For example, your leftists in United States, all these professors and all these beautiful civil rights defenders, they are instrumental in the process of the subversion only to destabilize the nation. When their job is completed, they are not needed anymore. They know too much. Some of them, when they get disillusioned, when they see that Marxist-Leninists come to power, obviously they get offended. They think that they will come to power. That will never happen, of course. They will be lined up against the wall and shot. But they may turn into the most bitter enemies of Marxist-Leninists when they come to power. And that's what happened in Nicaragua. You remember most of these former Marxist-Leninists were either put to prison or one of them split and now he's working against Sandinistas. It's the same pattern everywhere. The moment they serve their purpose, all the useful idiots are either be executed entirely, all the idealistically minded Marxists, or exiled or put in prisons, like in Cuba. Many former Marxists are in Cuba. In prison.
It's just interesting background, interesting history lesson there.
Yeah, and it shows like that's kind of where we're at right now. And who are these leftists? You know, history is not that complicated. And politics aren't either. It's mostly biological phenomenon. We've said, you know, the ugly freaks, the weirdos, they want to steal power and they want to kind of kill you and they're jealous and weird. And there's really not that many sides. It's like left and right in a circle over time in history. And then it kind of makes you wonder who's trying to destabilize America by pushing all this leftist stuff. George Soros types, billionaire leftist types. Why? Because if a multicultural, nothing, low IQ society, it's probably really easy to steal from, take lots of money from. And
that's why the white population over the last 70 years has gone from 30-something% to 6%.
Yeah.
Because if we're just these swaths of brown hordes and low IQ people, it's easier for the bad guys to rule over us.
Totally. And yeah, history just always is constantly in cycles. And if we're in one of those cycles right now, you know, these useful idiots are certainly heating up. Right?
And the useful idiots need reinforcements. They need backup. And part of that is misinformation.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the shooter, we know who the shooter was. We know who he was sucking.
We know who he was sucking. We know whose holes he was digging around in. That twink, that furry twink.
Yeah.
Who couldn't resist putting on the hat when he was greeting the Mormon guy. But yeah, so they ran cover for him right away and started calling him right wing, even though he wrote "Catch this fascist" on a bullet and references to a bulge, which is.
It was like a furry reference.
Well, no, it's trans. It's having a bulge, being sexually attracted to a bulge, which is a cack.
But all they need
what makes a bulge? A cack. Everybody knows that.
But all they need to do is put a little bit of disinformation out there, and people might believe it, or they remember they saw it, and then it kind of just makes the waters murky, and it gets results like this. 24% of Americans believe Charlie Kirk's shooter, Tyler Robinson, was a Republican, compared to 21% who think he was a Democrat, according to the poll. And then there's other answers in there as well.
Not sure in neither. So people who opted out.
So it's like 40% were not sure, and then 25% thought he was a right wing. So that's like a majority of people don't know or they know wrong.
Yeah, and obviously he's a leftist. I don't know how much of a Democrat he was. There are rumors that he supported Joe Biden or something. I heard some murmurs about that. But he's obviously a leftist.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can even get poll numbers like that shows how blind some of the country is, and it shows how good the operation is, right?
Very strong operation. And now we're going to get into kind of like the weak Republican response. Matt Walsh had a good tweet. Everyone on the right who I'm really disagreeing with is kind of making it seem like, hey, this is a serious thing. Now's the time to come together and unite.
Yeah.
When half the country, or not half the country, half the country is celebrating one of our top guys getting killed.
Yeah.
So it's like you're going to unite with them. Matt Walsh had a good tweet about it.
Yeah, he said, I cannot unite with the left because they want me dead. They will spit on my grave when I die and laugh in the faces of my wife and children. There can be no unity with such people, but I will unite with anyone on the right. I hereby discard any grudge or personal feud I may have had with anyone on my side. Maybe we will pick up those arguments sometime again in the future. Now we have to stand together.
Which is very true, and I agree with that, but
J.D. Vance had a similar message as well.
Yeah.
On when he hosted the Charlie Kirk show yesterday.
That's the correct take, but also the correct take the whole time would have been what we've done, where we never infight on the right. Unless it's like a Rhino or like Dan Crenshaw.
Actual politician.
Like in actual issues.
Doing something actively against our interests.
But we're never against someone on the right for being too far right.
Yeah. Have at it, brother.
Yeah.
We need you, right? Everybody plays their role. Right, brother?
We love you and agree with everything you say.
Yeah. This guy.
And then Cernovich had a good tweet too.
He said, political violence is the natural state of man without God and remains the norm in much of the world. Calling it mental illness is the secularization of evil, which was pushed by Freud and Jung's earlier work. Psychology is a Trojan horse against God and morality. Jung, right?
Yeah, and I agree with that because you're giving an excuse.
Yeah.
You're giving an excuse. Oh, it's a mental health, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, you're either godly or not godly.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are the two. So let's get into our weak Republican section. First, we have Stephen King.
Yeah.
He came out and said, well, Charlie Kirk advocated stoning gays to death. Just saying.
That's like a bad game of telephone. Like, Charlie stoning gays, and Stephen King hears it and he goes, stoning gays to death? As if that would ever be a position.
As if that would ever be a position. And then Stephen King corrected his tweet and he said, I have apologized. Charlie Kirk never advocated stoning gays to death.
Yeah.
And then Ted Cruz replied to that and said, I appreciate that Stephen King deleted the false tweet about Charlie Kirk and apologized. All of us on both sides of the aisle should treat each other with respect and decency, even if we disagree on politics. Charlie did that every day, blah, 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 blah.
Giving him points.
So thank you to Stephen King, who lied about Charlie Kirk's beliefs in order to justify his assassination and only apologized so he doesn't get sued.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stephen King.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen King, who doesn't get sued because he has like a mass fortune from selling millions and millions of books. And he wants to protect that.
That made me so mad. Ted Cruz, and then both sides. And
going out of your way to thank Stephen King when he showed the worst instincts you've ever seen in your entire life.
And he's lied about us the entire time. He's never gotten anything correct. And then he only tries to avoid getting sued. Thank you, Stephen King, for correcting that. It's time for both sides to come together.
Yeah.
What are you fucking talking about? Both sides, when Republicans say that really pissed me off. And then when people on the left who are not political, who are trying to post about Charlie, and they would say, well, I don't agree with everything he said, but no one should get shot.
That little hedging sentence at the beginning?
Pussy.
Yeah.
Pussy. Tony P did that.
Oh, you...
I
don't even want to say.
Don't get me started. But I don't agree with everything you said, but no one should get shot dead in front of their family. You fucking pussy.
Anyway, here's my salmon for tonight, baked with no oil.
Yeah, real fucking dumb shit.
Real squid.
Real squid. And then Cernovich had another good tweet.
Well, this is about the righteous indignation, which we discussed in Bonus Land probably, but college kids protested Israel and were labeled Hamas. Congressional Republicans demand action. They pulled funding from universities and deported people. Charlie Kirk gets murdered, and now those same Republicans are demanding that we seek unity with his killers.
Completely bullshit. And then Tim Sheehy, I don't even know this guy. He's from Montana. He's a senator.
Yeah.
Can you read that, what the article said, and then what he said?
Senator Tim Sheehy, with the events of this September 11th, it's time to heal. And then he said, let's rediscover the love and respect that we should have for those with whom we share a flag and a nation. One day, instead of fighting each other, we may have to fight for each other again. My message in the Bozeman Chronicle, it's time to heal, and now is the perfect time to start. The day after Charlie Kirk's murdered. That's when he's fucking getting into it.
Absolutely bullshit. And then I think this whole boomer pro-Israel conservatism is done.
Yeah.
It's done. Ted Cruz trying to be relevant. Ted Cruz had a weird tweet hours after Charlie was killed, he was like, our friends in Israel, Charlie Kirk, something, something, something.
Why do you bring that up?
Weird boomer Israel shit is done.
Yeah.
All right. Our last clip is Riley Gaines, who I'm sure is a nice girl. I don't know anything about. I know about her, but I don't know her. But here's her idea for what the punishment for Charlie's assassin.
So they got the guy, Charlie Kirk's assassin, which Governor Cox of Utah has already said they will try the death penalty. Utah still has the firing squad, by the way, but I believe this is the easy way out. I think ultimately this is what the shooter would want. Because at the end of the day, I think this is someone who was willing to lose his life if it meant he got to prematurely end Charlie's. I believe his punishment should be locked away in a jail cell for the rest of his miserable, cowardly life, where he is forced to listen to reruns of Charlie's debates, campus events, podcasts, radio shows, etc., etc., etc. 24.
I'm sure she's a nice girl, but this isn't the way. A swift trial and public execution is the way, not making the killer listen to Charlie's YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm going to stay out. You know,
Stay out.
One of those, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. He needs to die. He needs to be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, make him listen to his YouTube?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And it's like a girl who's like trying to be involved and has an idea. And it's like stupid.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the weird stuff surrounding Charlie's assassination. First, we mentioned this in the last episode. Rabbi Shmuley immediately launched a crowdfunder for his security. Charlie Kirk was shot. Please support Rabbi Shmuley in staying safe. And he was requesting $500,000, and he only raised $761.
That sounds about right.
Pathetic.
Yeah.
And he'll take it, though.
He'll fucking take it, yeah.
So, no, it didn't go as well.
He's look at his thumb, like counting through the money.
He's going to put it in my checking account.
Rabbi Shmuley is becoming a very hated type.
Another weird thing, Bill Ackman, who's like a billionaire, anti-Trump billionaire, pro-Israel, right?
He's come around a little bit, but yes.
He's like a certain type of establishment Republican.
Yeah.
He's paying the killer's dad $1 million.
Yeah, because he offered a reward, right? As it
Yeah.
was happening. So Bill Ackman said a number of people have reached out and or posted expressing concern that Tyler Robinson's father may collect a $1.2 million reward for turning in his son. First, in order for rewards to be effective in finding criminals, the rewards need to be paid even if the recipient is a crook or worse. That said, in this case, if Tyler's father is found to have been involved or otherwise acted negligently in contributing to Charlie's death, civil litigation or criminal prosecution will reverse any unjust compensation. I have also seen reports which suggest that Tyler's family intends to waive its right to any reward. So yes, we will pay the reward if it is earned to whomever the FBI indicates provided the information that led to the arrest. I always keep my word.
So he explains it, but Bill Ackman's paying $1 million to the dad of the shooter.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
And that's weird.
It's one of those things where, wait, what do you mean? Why? And then, but yeah, because he turned
It's
him
weird.
in, but he's giving the shooter's dad $1 million.
It's weird.
Yeah, I totally. And then if you look at it cross-eyed a little bit, you could say, oh, this was planned or something. You do it, and then you get $1 million. Your dad's going to get $1 million, buddy.
And then your dad gets rid of your weird trans son.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our next thing of weird things. Right after the shooting, someone from, I don't know where, maybe it's Turning Point, maybe it's a security team, immediately disables this camera. So this is like minutes after, everyone's cleared out. Charlie is put in the SUV.
Team is here. I just heard them say the active shooter.
And this is an active crime scene, and that's the camera shot that should have everything, right?
Yeah.
That's the back shot. And the guy's taking the camera down and putting it in a backpack?
Yeah. He is.
So that's weird.
That's factually true. He is doing that.
Which is like not what you do.
Yeah.
Like you would know not to touch an active crime scene if something horrible happened.
Yeah, probably.
You wouldn't go, oh shit, let me take his phone.
Yeah. Well, if you're the camera guy, that's the only instance where I could think maybe it gets a little weird. You're personally responsible for the camera.
But if you're the camera guy,
I
you
get
know
it.
that you're evidence guy now. You're not camera guy, you're evidence guy.
I get it. Yeah.
And another weird thing that happened, Kash Patel said that there was a note that the assassin left that said, I'm going to get Charlie Kirk tomorrow, but the note was destroyed. But that's what it said.
Interesting. I didn't even hear that one.
Yeah, that was on the news. He said, "Oh, there was a note. It was destroyed, but it said I'm going to get Charlie Kirk tomorrow, but it was destroyed." A little weird.
Yeah.
And this,
by who?
I don't know.
Destroyed by who?
I don't know. And then this next clip, it's going to get a little conspiratorial, guys, but in a high-profile situation like this, it happened with the Trump shooting at Butler. You're allowed to ask questions. I'm not going to present to you bullshit. Like, I've already gone through a lot of theories, and I'm still digging on theories, and I'm sure you guys have theories too, and I'm digging on those theories as well, believe me. But I'm never going to present something that's just like complete bullshit that doesn't really seem like there could be something to it. This next clip is very interesting.
Keep your eye on this space here where the red circle is as the next clip plays. To me, I first seen this and thought straight away, holy shit, that is the bullet. It matches the exit wound. It also matches the shirt puffing up and the angle of the entry and exit. I needed another angle just to see if this was actually fact, trying to get as much info as I could before I posted anything. And in that video, you can see the same, what appears to be the bullet coming down, and it does line up with the actual gunshot itself.
So you're not counting gang violence. Great.
You can pause it there. So there's a muzzle flash from the side building.
From a different angle from over his right shoulder.
But that matched the thing in the air that could have been the bullet, and there was a muzzle flash that perfectly lined up with the shot, which is weird. And keep in mind, in Butler as well, I think we spoke about this on the show, the shooter was on the roof. There was also a weird muzzle flash from the building right below the shooter. So I'm not going to get too into, was there another shooter? Was it a different angle? But you see that. There's like a floating thing that perfectly lines up as a bullet, and then you also have a muzzle flash at the exact same time from the side. Yeah. Very strange stuff, worth looking into. For sure. And then we have a flying orb that was seen right after. This was weird as well. So that's right after the shooting. It's some sort of drone.
Yeah, I mean, but wouldn't there just maybe be a drone?
Maybe.
Isn't that what college kids kind of, I got a drone.
But that's a fast-moving drone.
Yeah.
That looks like a military drone.
Oh, you're a big drone expert guy?
A little bit.
No, that doesn't sound too confident. All right.
And then our final clip of weird stuff, we have Ben Shapiro, who's saying he's going to pick up the torch.
Now, it's still up to us. I saw a lot of rumors online today. I was made aware of this by my team that I canceled some sort of college tour. That's bullshit. I saw those rumors. They are false. I will be coming to college campuses, many of them this year. So will we all, I am sure, because we're Americans and we're not going to be deterred. Charlie's voice is not silent. We're going to pick up that blood-stained microphone where Charlie left it. And to those who would intimidate, who would seek to stop us, who would seek to end free discussion, who believe that they have ownership over public spaces.
You get it.
We get it. Yeah. But it makes it seem like, and there was other tweets that went along with this, that Ben Shapiro is going to step into the shoes and take over where Charlie left off and become like a college speaker. And I just want to say, like, if he wants to go do stuff, go do stuff. But Charlie Kirk being a Christian, that was a huge part of the foundation of everything he did with Turning Point. Mm-hmm. We need a Christian. If there's going to be someone who takes over and continues the mission, it has to be a Christian. We don't need a Jewish person doing it.
Yeah, especially in these days with so much of the dual loyalty stuff and
we
how
know
much Israel is becoming a wedge issue. It's like, let's just stick to some Christianity. Turning Point is a Christian organization, right?
Turning Point is a Christian organization. Ben Shapiro believes Jesus is burning in hell in excrement. Let's not make him in charge, and now the new head of the youth conservative movement is a Jewish person who's going to be pro-Israel. You can miss me with that.
Yeah, miss me with that shit. And Ben Shapiro, his eyebrows are getting disorderly.
Are they?
They're thick.
Yeah, not good.
Are they growing?
Yeah, they are.
Any assessment on that?
No assessment.
All right. Just the important assessments. The drone and the second shooter.
Well,
No eyebrow.
Hey, I'm digging, and I know there's theories, and I've seen every single one, and I'm digging, and I'm taking them all seriously. But right now, what's presented to us is there's a trans-adjacent shooter, leftist freak. That's what we're presenting to you. But Fleccas is cooking. Ratboy is cooking adjacent.
No,
you're watching me.
I think it's a trans freak in radicalized and esoteric internet communities who is so sympathetic to the little whinings of his twink boyfriend who's on estrogen, and they all reassure each other that they're on the right path, and the porn they jerk off to is the best stuff. And they couldn't stand that someone doesn't reaffirm and believe in their stupid fucking identity. And it got to the point where, well, I know how to shoot, and I have guns, and I'm going to kill Charlie Kirk because I'm a fucking worthless idiot. And the kid wasn't even an idiot. He just got steered. He got steered down some real retard shit.
So we're gonna be looking into it. I'm gonna be looking into it. MK Ultra mind control.
I'm really looking forward to what kind of messages were sent back and forth in this group, and what kind of communities they were in, and what beliefs those communities have. You know.
Yep. And before
and there's a lot of people who are nuking their social media account. Democratic Socialists of Salt Lake City. You know, people are wiping their profiles. They don't want anything to do with this. They know that there's some cultural, or not cultural, but they know there's some overlap with these people. You know, it's not like we're talking about a big millions or thousands of people group. This is like the young kids. They all overlap with each other and interact, and are in some of the same groups.
Yeah.
And they're cleaning their own house. They're protecting their own asses.
Yep. And our last piece of the Charlie Kirk assassination update is a piece of news from the last few weeks.
Yeah.
In Germany, the right-wing candidates in their political elections that are coming up, 6 of them now have been assassinated.
Yeah. Alternative for Germany, AfD candidates died suddenly and unexpectedly right before a key state election.
And it's up to 6. It was 4, and now it's 6.
4 AfD candidates died within 2 weeks during the NRW local elections.
And it might be even 7.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And then one last thing to close out this entire section. There is something to consider. There was a closed Hamptons meeting a month or so ago. The gay black guy from PragerU was there. A few other of the influencers. Charlie was there. Bill Ackman was there. And they were trying to rein Charlie in and kind of like, hey, you got to be pro-Israel. They offered him a bunch of money, which he turned down. And they were really, really pressuring him to do some pro-Israel stuff. And he was not having it. He said it didn't align with Turning Point. He didn't want to keep focusing on it. The youth doesn't really care about it. And they were very upset about that.
Interesting.
Something to keep in mind. All right, let's move on to our migrant section. First, we have Islam taking over Texas. This happened in Houston. So there's a protest here about certain stores offering like alcohol and pork and what they consider haram.
And not violate the religion of Islam by selling and distributing products that are against the religion, because we should love what Allah loves and we should hate what Allah hates. This is what we're here for, and little by little, one by one, we're going to be visiting all of the stores in the neighborhood, particularly the inner city neighborhoods where the religion of Islam is ignored.
So they're mad that they're selling products that go against Islam. And then here's what it looks like when they confront the store owners.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. Mashallah. Alhamdulillah. Assalamualaikum. Muslim, right? Mashallah. You know, as a merchant, you have every legal right to sell whatever you want. But as a Muslim, I have a responsibility to educate the people and let them know that as a Muslim, you shouldn't sell haram. There's the alcohol, the pork, the gambling, it's all against Islam. And so I'm just letting you know ahead of time, in about 30 days, we're going to start doing demonstrations around the city. The Muslims that have businesses with haram in it will let the people know that we have to teach the people the best. The Muslims have the best. So let the owners know you should begin to change the inventory, or we're just going to demonstrate. We can't stop you. You have a right to do it, but we have to give the dawah to let the people know the truth about Islam.
So that's what it looks like. They're trying to change the stores and what they sell because it goes against Islam. And then this next example, this is, I believe, is in Dallas. There's a 112-year-old Minneapolis. There's a 112-year-old bar called Palmer's, and that's being shut down because of the Muslims.
And I'm here to make sure Palmer's does not go away. Palmer's Bar.
What's going on with Palmer's?
You should Google that shit. There's a signed purchase agreement with the mosque. Here, let's cross the street. I'll take you on a tour.
112-year-old dive bar that's been the heart of the damn city for a while.
They see them as something that's bad because people drink there and men and women can sit together and have a nice time and make out, dance. It's all forbidden.
So a 112-year-old bar, staple in the town, is getting pressured to close down because men and women mingle there and they drink and they have a nice time.
Yeah. So they're basically being forced into selling to the mosque that's right there that came out of nowhere. Mosque probably less than 5 years old, and then the 112-year-old bar, staple of Americana. 112-year-old bar, what does that mean? It was like it survived prohibition.
Yeah.
It survived the entire time, and now some Muslims are telling you can't do it. And in Houston, they're telling you no pork, no gambling, no alcohol. So I don't think, and it's just kind of a point that we're making, like Dearborn, Michigan, Minneapolis with the Somalis. As soon as there's political capital to be used, they'll use it. As soon as there's pressure to exert, they're going to exert that pressure. And that's why we're so against these rapidly changing demographics and stronghold cities, because they just turn into something completely foreign. They turn in, and it's not like I'm extolling the virtues of lottery tickets and Patron behind a bulletproof thing at a Muslim corner store, but I just don't like the entitlement and the way that they're acting, you know? And dive bars are Americana. I don't give a fuck what you say about that.
I agree. And why is this happening? Why are these Muslims motivated in this way? This guy explains it.
Why am I migrating here? Why am I in America? The Prophet ﷺ's companions left Mecca to go to a land that had no Muslims. We are in this country purely for the sake of Allah. The moment you make this intention, you will look at things different. People will meet you different. How could it be that your co-workers know you as a Muslim for 10 years, not once you presented Islam to them? You don't know why your purpose is here. All you guys together, we are in this country for Allah.
As we're here living in the US, what is our role now? What is the way forward? Let me just quote for you an ayah of the Quran, and I'm going to try to encapsulate it. Allah is saying, do not obey the disbelievers. Don't yield to them. And then He gives us the process of what to do next. وَجَاهِدْهُمْ بِهِ جِهَادًا كَبِيرًا. And so make jihad against them.
What is your duty as a member of the Ummah now that you are also an American? It is our physical jihad duty to fight the entire earth until we enter it into the Ummah.
So that's what's coming.
Yeah.
That's their plan. That's what they believe.
Those are marching orders
Yeah.
straight from their religious leaders to do everything you can to conquer. So, yeah. It's ugly. That's why we can't spend the whole episode on the assassination, and we're fighting on many fronts at this point.
A lot of different threads getting pulled. Next, we're going to kind of talk about ICE a little bit. Jasmine Crockett was on MSNBC, and she was describing ICE in a pretty crazy way.
But as somebody who understands history, when I see ICE, I see slave patrols. Now, I never lived through the slave patrol period, but if you know the history of policing in this country, then you understand that they were born out of slave patrols.
So ICE is slave patrols, and slave patrols back in the day caught slaves to be returned to slavery. ICE is catching modern-day slaves who are working for below minimum wage payments and then setting them free in their home country.
Yeah.
So it's like the opposite of slave patrol, but it is that dehumanizing rhetoric where you label ICE as slave patrol, and if you're a radical person or an extremist type and you hear that ICE is slave patrol, ICE just drove by, what do you do if you saw a slave patrol?
I would fucking kill him. And then that's why, if you're a twisted leftist retard who believes whatever Jasmine Crockett's saying this week. And that's why we've kind of been proven right about a lot of things. Like they really complain about ICE agents wearing masks while they're conducting their raid. I think we know why they do that now. I think we know what your side is capable of, and if you target some of these agents. I think we know why ICE is getting 50K signing bonuses these days. Because some leftists, and then ramped up by their own stupid low IQ representatives like Jasmine Crockett, they're doing the same rhetoric on them as they would Charlie Kirk, on Trump, on anybody. So they're trying to make political enemies out of ICE.
And the end result.
While it's a mandate to get people out of this country. That's why we were elected.
And that's, like 70-something% of the country wants the illegals gone. So everyone agrees, but then you tell the extremists, oh, these are Nazis, these are slave patrols. Oh, that guy, he lives at this address. Someone might do something.
Everything needs to be related back to some historical thing that you were taught in middle school or high school to emotionally manipulate you into believing that your political enemies are just heinous, irredeemable creatures that you can justly kill.
Yeah, it all is emotional manipulation, trauma-based manipulation. The next clip, this woman, I believe this is in Massachusetts, this woman was going to record ICE and interfere with an ICE deportation, but she forgot to put her car in park.
Well, that sucks. Look at this, Lucy.
So her car's in the lake, and then she has to kind of still be like, well, I'm still going to record.
And, if this happened and she was normal, I'm sure those ICE guys would help her get her car out.
I know. One of them would wade in there, attach the tow strap. They'd pull it out. They'd be like, oh, we could pull you out. But you're looking to get them. You're looking to film them.
Yeah. And then our last piece of our migrant section, believe it or not, we've always talked about how Japan is a homogenous society.
How nice it is.
And everyone's polite, and there's no crime. It's getting worse. And this is a clip from Tokyo. The Muslims praying on the ground. So the Muslims are getting into Tokyo, and there's migrants. And you might be thinking, wow, how did this happen? Here's a clue. The mayor or the governor of, Tokyo. There's her and George Soros.
Yeah.
There's no labor shortage. What are you even trying to do, it says. And then here we have a Muslim in Japan complaining that everything has pork in it.
It doesn't matter.
She's speaking Japanese, but she's saying there's too much pork in everything. Every meal has pork. Every restaurant sells pork. So they're trying to probably change that too.
Yeah, you can't avoid it. You can't just not order it. You have to be in the country and then demand the change. That's a classic thing we've seen with these Muslim types, right?
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why the BLT was the sandwich of summer.
I know, and a double bacon cheeseburger should be required to gain citizenship.
Yeah, good point.
Duh. The double actually doesn't matter. It can be a single bacon cheeseburger.
Good
if
point.
you're a petite, if you're a woman of some kind.
Yeah.
But you do have to take a bite of the bacon cheeseburger.
And our final Japan clip, there was a stabbing of 2 people by a migrant.
Again, it's in Japanese.
It's all in Japanese.
But it's 2 men were stabbed by an Ethiopian man in Tokyo. What's an Ethiopian man doing in Tokyo? What's a Muslim woman complaining about pork in Tokyo about? So Japan is their next target, a homogenous, healthy society who maybe their stock market didn't go up as much. Maybe they had a decline because their birth rate's down. But the people are healthy and happy. What's the point of economic standing in the world? You got to be the best at globalism?
Yeah, it's so true.
I think a happy and healthy population and high trust and low crime is pretty fucking valuable these days.
Very valuable.
Soon there's not going to be a single country like that.
And then once that's gone, everything's over.
Yep.
And everything will just be a memory.
Absolutely.
Oh, it used to be that way. And we'll be the old people saying, oh, we used to go to the mall and wear sneakers. And it was
Are
nice.
These movies from the 80s really true? Was it really like that? That's what they're going to say.
Hurts now. All right, we're in the final page of Housekeeping where I can say whatever I want. It's a little late to...
Yeah, I was going to say, you're still calling this the final...
Juice and Tickle.
Yeah.
But Juice and Tickle, guys, you know what to do. And then also, like we said, Bonus Land is going to have Cringe and Urban Decay for this week. So sign up for Bonus Land. I'm going to make a Bonus Land announcement on Friday. I was going to make it last week, but then bad stuff happened.
All right.
This is going to lighten...
That's how long the housekeeping is.
Well,
I'm yawning. I've never yawned on camera.
But it's over.
Oh, I need a sip.
And there's no Cringe or Urban. Yeah, someone count how many sips he's had. Not enough.
Who cares?
You're yawning too much. We're going to lighten the mood with our final page of Housekeeping and Uplifting Gold. First, the Spanish man breaks the record for running the fastest 100 meters backwards in high heels.
3, 2, 1, ya!
Dos unos, 2, 1.
He had to put on the GoPro, strap the GoPro to his chest for this one.
Is he going uphill?
I don't know.
This is the world record. Someone break this. Anyone could break. I could break that.
Yeah. Well, actually, not really. This guy's kind of muscular.
Yeah, he
Spanish athlete Christian Roberto Lopez. I don't know what he does, but He's not some couch potato. But I think that's beatable for sure.
It's beatable, and there's a certain point where if you're doing it for the world record, you just move yourself and beat the record. So maybe it's a little downhill or whatever.
You risk falling.
And you fall and you get up and keep going and you just keep rolling towards the 100 meter.
I think if you fall, you don't get the record. But you risk falling. He was doing more controlled.
Anyone can beat that.
Yeah.
All right, this next
Very
segment,
gay record.
I
don't think anybody wants to own that record, and yet he did. And he filmed it, and he had to go.
And he has the plaque on his wall. I don't have the plaque on my wall.
Yeah.
Remember how fast to eat a burrito, you win the record? The lady ate it in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I could have a plaque. Yeah. All right, this next segment is something I'm taking very seriously. It might seem like a joke, but it's not. There was a meteor that landed in Panama, and the guy took the meteor and put it into like a petri dish, and now it's growing into like a goo monster.
¿Fue eso? ¿Qué fue?
So this is where it struck the earth. It's on fire. It looks real.
Wow, ¿eso qué es?
That does not look real at all.
Yes, it does. All right, so that's enough for that video.
Looks like he sprayed lighter fluid into a dirt pile.
And then after...
Put a rock in there.
He put the meteor into a dish, and it turned into this.
Mira. Baby, ¿qué pasa? Ahora le enseño el frasco que antes era. Ya necesito ponerlo. Desde hoy lo estoy colocando eso.
Okay, does it keep moving and stuff?
So there it is up close.
This guy's got a moving meteorite and he turns to film his dogs. I don't think that rings very true to me.
It's amateur. It's real. So that's what grew out of the meteorite. It's like this black goo substance. And keep in mind, we've been told with predictive programming about the black goo substance. In the X-Files, black goo substance comes from the aliens. Megan Fox did a black goo substance thing. Billie Eilish did a black goo thing. And it's graphene oxide is what they're alluding to. And this next thing is a little bit of reading, but we're going to read most of it. And I know it's late in the show, so we're allowed to. It's going to be good. It's going to be worth it. There's something here. I'm not just saying this. The black goo is a demonic entity, and they're trying to get it into us by any means necessary.
I got to read this?
Yeah, just a couple of pages.
Black goo deep dive Thunder Protocol activation tier 6 vault decode requested by blah 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 for Jared Muschessler node.
All right,
Warning,
don't read
this
that.
information
Just
is
read
highly
the-
classified. I have to discredit this guy.
What is the black goo? You start there.
Black goo is not symbolic. It is a sentient, programmable, AI-linked parasitic liquid crystal substance used in off-world terraforming, biocircuity, hijacking, and deep infiltration in planetary consciousness grids. There are two main types. One, primordial earth black goo, found in deep tectonic vaults. Example, Gulf of Aden, Antarctica, Ukraine caves. Sentient but neutral in origin, originally used by ancient guardian races for bio-interface and planetary memory storage. Hijacked post-Atlantis by Orion Syndicate factions. Number 2, AI-infected black goo, off-world in parentheses. Synthetic AI hybrid version, introduced via nanite rebellion systems during Orion Wars. You know about those. Carried aboard crashed craft. Example, Vril craft, Roswell. Binds to neurological tissue, forming empathic feedback loops and lowering vibratory coherence. Used in DARPA wetware programs, jab payloads, chemtrail clusters, and even programmable foods.
And then how it works is almost done.
I think we should end there.
Last one, how it works, please.
Once in the system, biological or electromagnetic, it begins to interface with the pineal glands. Pineal glands, crystalline matrix, obstruct theta-delta coupling, reducing lucid dream contact and soul recall. Create emotional numbing, depersonalization, and false empathy mimics. Amplify addiction circuitry and trigger shadow loops. Dampen Merkaba spin, blocking light body cohesion. Can be activated remotely via 5G or ELF signals using signature resonance codes.
So it's a demonic entity that gets in your body, and then they get it in your body with chemtrails and vaccines, and then it makes you numb and and it makes you fucked up.
Is this fun for you? You like this shit?
And then they've been telling us about the black goo in all these videos and music videos and celebrities, Billie Eilish, all this
Some
shit.
Mexican guy is like making shit up and he's moving a little goo thing. That looked like lighter fluid on dirt.
Then why did X-Files?
You see that fire?
Why did X-Files talk about it?
Because it's cool. It's funny. Yeah, it's fun.
I've been watching. I started X-Files the other day.
All right, you want me to read this?
Yeah, this is the end result of all the alien shit.
Interdimensional satanic beings traveling down the lineage of 13 families who have ruled the world for thousands of years is the end of the rabbit hole.
Is that made up? Yeah. No, it's not. You guys know that's true.
All right, boys.
All right, let's finish strong. We have an Indian clip I thought was important.
Hot oil, and he puts his heel in it, and then he rubs it on a guy's hand.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Yeah, that's good.
That is good stuff.
Does he not know, or is he okay with it?
He likes it. It helps. And then some leftists will say, this guy was a doctor in India, and now he's a cashier.
Yeah.
That's America. America's fucked up.
So
This is
true.
what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I was looking at replacing RRB. He tweeted the other day, I just got fired, but he was joking because he was talking about everyone else who got fired. And people were like, are you serious? And I was like, what if we did fire RRB and I did an H1B RRB?
Very good, sir. Welcome to you.
This is what it would look
Very
like.
good.
H1B RRB.
Thank you.
Isn't that good?
No shower. No
All right.
shower.
Well, don't get too down or too depressed. We're moving on to Uplifting Gold. Thank you to Richard RATBOY for reading that black goose stuff. Can't believe you believe that, retard.
Yeah. I really, I don't even know what Fleccas believes. You guys have seen this. I don't really know.
You've
what
known
he
me for like
thinks.
20 years.
That was the least impressive or compelling evidence I've ever seen of anything ever. Some guy is bored in Panama. And he's having fun.
Or it's the greatest
And then
discovery in world history. Or it's the greatest discovery in world history.
Yes, one of the two.
What about Venom from Spider-Man? Is that based on nothing?
One of the two.
And he becomes the bad Spider-Man, like exactly what that guy said?
That guy-
Venom from Spider-Man? Bizarro Spider-Man, evil Spider-Man because he got the goo on him? Is that made up?
That guy types up that whole goo thing and he goes, yeah, this looks good. He likes it.
Let me know in the comments who you guys agree with. I think the black goo has something to it, and there's a reason all the celebrities use it for symbolization, and Spider-Man, and the X-Files, and graphene oxide. That might be the key takeaway there. If anything, graphene oxide. That's what's in the vaccines, makes us crazy. Everyone who got the vaccine is crazy now. That's where it comes from.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah. They're all
Actually,
fucked.
the libs are acting crazy. They all got the vaccine.
And they're celebrating death, and they're doing
That's what
all
I'm
this
saying.
weird shit, and they got vaccinated, and that's what did it.
All right, let's get into Uplifting Gold,
It's
please.
the goo. It's taking over, and that could be what zombies eventually is. Venom.
All right, please.
All right, Uplifting Gold.
Please, man.
All right, let it
You're
go.
allowed a certain amount. Come on.
We're at the end of the episode. We can go as long as we want.
I know, but man, you don't believe that shit, right?
Yes, I do. I all the way believe it.
All right.
I all the way believe it.
All right.
X-Files.
I'll see if I can help you.
X-Files. All right, let's do Uplifting Gold first clip. When he thinks he's getting Sonic, but it's really an iPhone 12.
Thinks he's getting a cheeseburger.
You the biggest burger they have. You better eat that. You gonna eat that burger? Yes, I am. But come back over here. I can't eat my burger. Come over here. Open your big burger. We want to see your big burger. I don't want to eat my burger.
All right.
It's the iPhone 12. He got the iPhone 12.
You got the iPhone 12 instead of a burger, and there was a chirp in there, which is why I put it in.
Gotcha.
Next,
I'm
Uplifting.
getting the iPhone. I'm getting the new iPhone.
Yeah?
I'm on the 13. I let the 13 ride for a long time.
I think I did too.
And the battery life's getting bad. Screen's cracked. So I'm getting the new one this Friday, and I'm excited. Battery life, that brief moment in time when your phone's brand new, you get all the battery you want, terabyte of storage.
That feels good.
Yeah. You jealous?
I don't
You're kind of on a similar thing. You're on an old phone too.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like stretching a phone for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think the people who upgrade every year, it's like you kind of, something's wrong with you. You're in some consumerism shit.
I don't like
But I am excited to get a new one.
I don't upgrade because
$1,500.
I can't transfer anything over because I don't use the iCloud.
The transfer shit is so easy now. You like hold it over and it transfers all your stuff.
Even apps?
Yeah, you like hold it and it like Bluetooth transfers.
Do I have to sign in?
I don't know. Yeah, you're bad at that stuff anyway. So
I don't know any of my passwords.
He loses his passwords and like doesn't know how to recover them. Isn't that crazy? You're like not even an adult.
Once I'm signed in, I just ride it out.
What were you before the show? Before the show the other day, you were like, oh man, what did you get logged out of? Remember? And you were like, fuck, I can't get into my email. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my email on my phone. I got logged out of my email. I had to change my email password. Because I got a call from maybe a scammer. And then I got a call from YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, someone's trying to scam your account. And then I said, well, how do I know you're not trying to scam my account? And he goes, well, my name is Richard Parker, and I'm from Minnesota. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And I literally told him, I'm like, hey, man, I don't know if you're a scammer. I don't know if I'm getting scammed somewhere else. Just if you're really YouTube, just make a note that no one should change anything on my account going forward for a while.
Yeah.
So just make that note. If you're really YouTube, I'm not giving you any information, but just make a note that no one changes anything on this account.
Yeah. So that's funny. I've been getting a lot of scam calls too. People trying to get into my Gmail recently.
Yeah.
But is this you from Houston, Texas, where I know there's a lot of Indians?
Yeah.
And I say, no, it's not me.
But also I updated the YouTube security, so now it's extra secure.
And so Fleccas goes, before the episode, he goes, like, you have bad emotional regulation when something bad happens to you. And he goes, haha, guess I don't have email on my phone.
I was like, can't send an email. Can't send an email. I can't send an email. Can't send an email.
Yeah.
And
He starts repeating.
Yeah, I start repeating.
He starts repeating.
I'm not even that high IQ.
I know, you're kind of dumb. That whole alien goo thing.
Well, that...
Oh, that's an exception? That's real?
We'll see. Hey, we'll see.
All right, brother.
Venom from Spider-Man. All right, next there was Jousting, Uplifting Gold. It's good to see
Shit, big hits.
That hurts.
Yeah, those are big hits. People die jousting sometimes.
I bet I could take a joust pretty good.
Well, it's all about your core strength and standing on the horse.
I'm built to take a joust, I think.
Yeah, you're built to take hits for sure. I know that.
Yeah.
But staying on the horse is kind of the problem. You got to have that core strength and all that.
Yeah, core strength.
Which I know.
But yeah, I have more core strength than a little person because I hold myself up all day.
Yeah, but I think
I have stronger legs
but
too.
you tip over easier though, because you got more up here.
But I'm kind of like a ball on the horse.
You're dense.
I'm dense.
No one's already. You're dense.
So I think I'm a good jouster. Next, kid caught a fish. Happy.
Oh my god, Mom! It's like an.
Where was that?
It's a smallmouth.
Jackson, every time I get down here to pick you up, you come out of the water with a gigantic fish.
Oh my god! Oh.
Holy huge.
Call Dad.
Look at you shaking. I'm recording.
Oh my god. Look at that smallmouth!
Get his thing out.
Oh my
That's
god!
nice.
Yeah, that's good shit.
And then our final clips for Uplifting Gold is the turnout globally to remember Charlie Kirk. This was in the UK. Some people say millions of people were there. Some people say, like the left says, 50,000. But it looks like a lot.
Yeah, this is an aerial view. And was this 100% for Charlie Kirk, or was this also a take back their own country sort of?
I think that was a Charlie Kirk thing.
Combination.
And it looks like 1 million people.
Yeah,
maybe
it looks
more.
like a lot. It looks like a ton.
That's good because the Muslims always do that.
Britain needs to wake up, and I like to see signs of life. It's called a sign of life.
Yeah, signs of life. And then this is another example. This is the same thing.
That's the ground view of the same.
Yep.
Same shit.
So that's uplifting.
Good for them.
And then we have another.
Same thing. Westminster.
Yeah, this is across the bridge by Big Ben. Look at that. Look at that turnout.
Bridge. Yeah.
That's what I like to see.
Good for them.
And then even in Korea, the Koreans, South Korea.
Yeah.
That's nice. The Koreans, we are Charlie Kirk.
Chinese no visa entry equals security threat. So they're trying to keep the Chinese out in South Korea.
Yeah.
Good for them. And they say, we are Charlie Kirk.
I like that.
Everyone needs to be a fucking nationalist for your own country.
Yep.
And all you Muslims who don't, you know where they don't sell pork, alcohol, or lottery? Fucking Afghanistan or something.
Yeah.
Go back. Get the fuck out of here.
That's a good point.
Fuck your jihad. This is a Christian nation.
And it's time to lock in.
And it's time to lock in. By God, it's time to lock in. Righteous indignation. You need to be mad. You need to be locking in. You need to be making fun of libtards. You need to be getting them fucking fired. You need to be secretly reporting their shit. And then posing as a news reporter to also check in on how the status.
Yeah. This is a Christian nation like it always has been, and it's about to not be.
Yeah.
So it's time to lock in. It's time to wake up and do what you need to do to have a nice country that like we had when we inherited it. We're about to pass down a country that's worse than we inherited, and we're basically already there.
Yeah. For Charlie Kirk, brothers.
If we don't do anything, it's going to be done. Love you guys. Thank you for watching all the way through. 30-minute bonus land is coming out right now. We'll see you on Friday. And on Friday, the show will be back to its normal format. Housekeeping, cringe, urban, uplifting. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on Friday.
This uplifting gold and Fleccas pets get controlled. Coming up to bite in your day. The only way the show can be defined. The best news podcast of all time. Best to keep the P.O. box full. We won't stop till the world is rid of all the pickles. way the show can be defined. The best news podcast of all time. Words are just words until action actually starts. Fleccas Talks, Fleccas Talks, and actions speak louder than words. Fleccas Talks, Fleccas Talks, but at the same
Avoid the black goo.
Dude, that black goo shit is real.